Hello, everyone. Thank you
Hi.
so much for
Hello.
joining us once again for another series of Love Connection. We have MJ Abdullah and Lauretta Ali-Abdullah from On the Spot Edutainment here with us today, and we're so excited to have you all. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Thank you for inviting us.
So, let's start out. If you could just tell us about On the Spot Edutainment.
You want your turn? Okay, so On the Spot Edutainment was honestly the dream of my husband. He's a disabled Vietnam veteran, Air Force. His goal in life is always serve and protect. The veterans mostly come back with that mentality. So he wanted to really not only combine our talents as actors, he wanted to do something in the community. So what we decided was to use the arts to educate people on social issues. I already had a movie on bullying because I started my production company, L.O.V.E Productions, LLC, in 2010. After acting so many years on stage in New York and New Jersey, and then Georgia, Atlanta, I decided that I really wanted to do something more than just be auditioning and being in plays, and it's wonderful and all of that. But then one day I was at the in a large venue in Atlanta, and I was waiting backstage to go on, and it struck me that this wasn't doing anything. Who was this serving? I had already suffered so much through that play. And a friend of mine said, so when do you stop? When do you, since you know how to direct, produce, act, when do you open your own theater, and when do you start working for you? It's going to be tough, but when are you going to do it? And I did. And so from there, I pushed and produced a movie called Bullying, a Shameful Dilemma. And that was because young Quint Scott was 15 years old at that time, 14 at that time, and he played the lead, my son, in a play in Atlanta. And he was so wonderful in it. He started out scared, and I nurtured him, and he was wonderful. So we got ready to do our next play, which would have been on the life of Billie Holiday. So that was a long time ago. And he said, can we do something else, Miss Ali, first? And I said, well, what would be first past that? And he said, there's a lot of bullying going on and kids dying. Can we create a movie on bullying? I said, I don't have the money for that. He said, my parents will do the shooting, and I will go spend the summer on Windows Media editing it for free. Wow. He took his entire summer and edited that movie. And regardless of what it was the work of a 15-year-old boy, and to us is priceless. Mm-hmm. It's called Bullying, a Shameful Dilemma. So what we did was go throughout Georgia and screen the movie. We had 30-minute screenings, and then we had open forums where people could discuss the issues of bullying at certain schools, Salvation Army, different churches. And then we also started producing our plays. And so we were very much community oriented because we realized that, the way that you can reach people is through entertainment. Mm-hmm. And it can be done as a movement. And our hearts are in the bullying situation, because in the mornings we get up and we research how many deaths, how many things have hurt children due to bullying. And that's even in the workplace and in everyday life, but particularly our young people. Mm-hmm. So that's something that we really champion, is that we have to stop thinking that it's just a thing that happens. It's what Muhammad calls a social disease. It's a disease that we need to cure, because we can't afford to keep losing children. So we just use the arts in any form of for domestic violence. We turn it into a play. If it's anything that's a social ill, we do improvs, skits, wow. Anything we can to really push the effort of social diseases, period. Because as long as we continue to think that, well, that's just how it is, or what people used to tell us, well, it's not my children. I said, they're all our children. Mm-hmm. Our children are grown. We have great grandchildren. We don't have to worry about children, but we do. because they're all out there, the community, they're our children, and we need to save them. If we're going to save ourselves, if we want the future to go on, we have to save them. Any loss of life due to being tortured and tormented, you're supposed to be going to school. You're not supposed to be worrying about who's gay, who's straight, who's what, who what. Leave people alone and allow them to live. I'm sorry if I'm passionate about that, but I'm sick of researching it and seeing some child laying in a hospital with a feeding tube because they've committed suicide or somebody's going to a funeral. So that's the passion that we have for On the Spot Edutainment Corporation. That's our passion.
Wow, that is amazing. So what does this look like for individuals wanting to get involved with you all? Like, what opportunities are there for people to get involved?
Well, there's so many opportunities. Like right now, we have we want to start our podcast, and it's called Tell Me Something Good. And what we want people to do is come in so that they can be interviewed, and be on our podcast. And they can talk about the good things that are happening in the community, not sit there and talk, because we're already pushing bullying and we know that's, so we want people to come in and talk about how did you save your business during COVID? Why are you still, and then what are you doing with youth in your community? So we want to interview people all over so they can talk about what they're doing good in their community, what's positive, what's happening.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're really excited about.
And share their survival stories,
exactly,
so that it can inspire others.
Exactly.
Okay, and the whole purpose of Telling Me Something Good is inspirational, it's uplifting, it's empowering, it's encouraging. We don't want people coming with the misery train to spot on our show. So all the negative frequencies. Hey, see y'all later.
Exactly.
Okay, we're looking for positive people who they've been knocked down, they dust themselves off, to get up, start all over again.
Exactly.
It's a journey called life. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
And so we're also looking for any young person that whether we have to go to the colleges, how we can do it. We want a young person to come in and work with us on the camera in terms of the podcast, and who is knowledgeable about putting a podcast together. And then we would make a small fee for them, of course, to compensate them, but also for them to be able to have the experience of helping us put together that show. That's going to be something. And we really want someone young. We really want a youth. If we have to go to the colleges, wherever we've already made a decision, that we want someone who has that experience, that's willing to take a stipend, and we'll put it aside from the company, and then we can compensate them for their time, and they can come in while we interview, because we would really like to interview. We have our new, when we bought this home, we have a new studio built.
Wow.
So we really want to come in and have them come in, and then we can also go through Zoom, or we can go through it. But it'd be nice to have them come in and have a real conversation with us, and talk to people about it. Those that can't make it, we'll try Zoom, other methods. But it also gives that young person the opportunity to work on something like that. And that's what we really want to do. And then we also have, for our shows, our new performances, we have a 2-person show that Muhammad and I did at the Claremont Performing Arts Center, their black box. We sold it out. And it's called Harriet Tubman it's called Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman Having Their Say.
We co-wrote it.
So we co-wrote it. And because we're seniors at 70, we deal with memory issues. So what we did was we wrote the script, we studied the script, we threw away the script. And what we do is we go on stage and we just have a conversation. And they really think that it's, at the end of it, they're like, wow, that's a wonderful play. And I'm like, that's wonderful that you would congratulate us.
Wow.
But honestly, this has been a conversation with you tonight.
And we're in contact.
And they love it.
Oh, yeah.
They love it,
yeah.
So, and we found that if seniors, because we put on plays for them too, in improvs for them too, if you're a child, whether you're a child or whether you're aging, if you don't use that mind, it's going. So we don't want to be stagnant because of that. We want even young people can create plays, they can create movies, they can just by thinking, being creative,
creative imagination,
and just sit in a group and the script can just flow. And before you know it, you've got a play just based on human feelings, and it really adds more than sitting up there writing something Hollywood. That, I mean, I hate to say it honestly,
hollow.
you know, just and it engages your community. It's so important to me, honestly, before I leave here, that I've left something that people can remember other than, you know, I've been on Broadway or I've made these movies, I've done these TV commercials. What's important to me is that people say in the community, they were good. We look forward to being able to be on stage. When we did that, we had seniors that volunteered, that came up and ran the show. We had young people that were ushers and a senior that was up. So, you know, you bring that together. They were volunteers. They didn't get paid. We gave them certificates and then they came in. And so we need volunteers. We need sponsors. We need whatever we can get to put on that next show that we want to do. And we have so many wonderful plays. It's incredible. And so many great ideas and material that we really need to get out there. That, you know, we have a play called The Delinquent Society. It's supposed to be, it's on child and spouse abuse. People told me years ago, it's not going to work because people are not going to look at that as a comedy. They're not going to think it's funny. And absolutely, we brought it to the Georgia stage and they rolled. They wanted to know if I was going to make a DVD, because even though the woman, the lead person was, you know, a real pain in the neck, and she could really just, you know, grouse her husband and son, she was funny. You know, we have to realize people might have their faults, but there's something to them. And there's a lot of times you can use comedy to touch people rather than having a long, drawn out drama. And they say, oh, yeah, that's what happened. Laughter, they can see themselves and laugh, but also see changes they need to make. They can see changes they need to make to their lives. So we have so much that we want to do. We have so many years behind us. We want to use these years that are in front of us to make an impact.
Wow. That is awesome. So how does someone get in touch with you all to get involved in those ways that you just described?
We love calls.
Okay.
We love immediate. People can go to On the Spot.
We want to hit the soul, the person.
People can go to On the Spot Edutainment at gmail.com and send us an email. On the Spot Edutainment. We like you to please get on the phone so we can hear your voice, and maybe set up a Zoom meeting so we can all meet and talk about how we're going to. So Muhammad's number is 352-630-7544. And my number is 352-630-7520. We like people to call us.
Awesome. Okay. So we'll definitely, we're going to do after this show, we'll make sure that we put your Gmail up along with your phone number so that people can reach out to you all. Is there anything else before we wrap up that you'd like to share?
Well, could you please also have them visit our website, because our board of directors are on there. All the work that we've done in terms of the communities in Georgia before we moved to Florida, because we're recent Florida people that moved from the Atlanta area. So now we're building. That's another thing. The reason why we're doing the podcast, we want to build a community here. We have a following from when we did that performance last year at the Claremont Performing Arts Center. We have a following. So that's a wonderful thing. But what we want to do is really just branch out and meet new people, get new board members on from Florida, because the majority of our board members are in Georgia, except for one. And we need to really marriage that. you know, because we're not letting Georgia go too. We're still in
part of our history.
It's part of our history. So we need to marriage that so that people will work with us. So we're looking for board members, volunteers, people that can sponsor, whatever we could possibly do. So the way for them to know who we are is to visit our website, and then you'll see all the work that we've done.
Yeah, they'll have access to different clips from plays that we perform,
Reviews.
And also she did already mentioned marriage. On the Spot Edutainment is marrying education and entertainment, edutainment. Okay, and using it to draw out the best, you know, from human beings.
Exactly.
And one last point is that we focus more on drawing out the creative genius, okay, of our artists. Okay, we want them to recognize that they don't have to go and reinvent the wheel. Everything is there. You have to draw it out. Okay, so we use scripts. We write scripts. We're both writers, but we tend to depend more on improv
and imagination. We want you to look at the script, know who the person is. You can learn the lines. And I tease my cast sometimes. I said, so if you want to add some line and I like it, that's mine. And I'm not going to Library of Congress and doing new copyright. So make sure you understand that right from the back. But they learn to love you when they know your heart, when they see your human heart. And we're very strict about, that's one thing they know. When we put on a performance, there's our first page tells everybody what we expect in terms of L.O.V.E Productions. Because when you go to our website, when you click who we are, it takes you to the first website of L.O.V.E Productions 10 years ago when we started. And what we expect from anybody who works for us, with us, you know, that we want you to be great, not grand. Because we already got grand actors. We already got grand entertainments. That's why we don't have any money going into the community, because everybody's grand. We want you to be great because we know there's a difference. I want you to be great and then give back to the community. Be great and then understand where you came from and give back. That's all we're trying to do. Just give back. You know, so if they go to our website on the spot edutainment.com, they will be able to learn what they can do, and then also call us directly and we can tell you exactly. The main thing we're looking for now is a young person to help us get our podcast started. You know, that's what we really want to do.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time with me today. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll definitely make sure that we post your information. So if people can contact you via your website, they can contact you by just picking up the phone and giving you a call, or either by email. So we'll make sure we post that information so that hopefully someone listening will be able to fill those roles that you're looking for. So
thank you so very much.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you.